morning, everyone, and welcome. Again, my name is Commissioner Sterling. I'm the Commissioner for the City of Boston Veterans Services. And we are here to honor the life and legacy of Warren Francis Ames with a Hero Square dedication. As we start the ceremony, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to be here. There are about 1,200 of these Hero Squares throughout the city, each standing in a place where our heroes lived and loved and unfortunately weren't here when they weren't able to come back. But here we stand together in his memory and have this here as a reminder that we should never forget. So we begin our ceremony with the presentation of colors and led by the Pledge of Allegiance by Lieutenant Colonel Hinson.
Present. Arms. Present. Arms.
Please place your hand over your heart and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Arms.
So while we reserve Memorial Day to dedicate time and reflect on those who we've lost, and Veterans Day to thank the men and women who have served our country, the time in between we take for programs like this and stand beside our families and do this work for our veterans and our military families and communities. And we're really not, we're able to do that work because of the great leadership that helps us along that way. And today we're joined by Mayor Walsh, and I wanted to thank him for his leadership in having programs like this, because it's important for us to make sure that this legacy stays alive, and also people that come by understand these stories. And I'd like to invite the mayor to come by and say a few words.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to, first of all, thank the Commissioner, thank the Ames family that's here with us today. This is a special place for me because I walked by this way every single day going to St. Margaret's Grammar School up the street when I was a kid from Taft Street. And I think it's important that we tell the stories of the heroes of our neighborhoods. And Warren lived on Edison Green. And I think it was important for all the young people that are going to the Russell School or St. Martin, Christopher, I forget the name of it now, Columbia Road campus, Pope John Paul campus, Columbia, up to the Roger Clapp School. Kids in the neighborhood that get a chance to, go down the Greenie or go up to the playground, the Affy here. It's important for them they come by and they take a moment to stop to read who Warren was and what Warren meant to this country. This country is built on heroes. This country is built because people joined the service and fought for our freedoms. And those people were kids in our neighborhoods all over America. And those kids were kids in our neighborhoods right here in Dorchester, right here in this neighborhood here. So I want to thank the family. I want to thank the ROTC for being with us today, for the great work that you guys do. I want to thank Chief Hooley, who runs our EMS in the City of Boston. And just thank all of you for coming out today. And thank you, Commissioner, and your office for the great work.
The way these start is with the connection with our family and our elected officials here. I know Councilor Baker is here as well. And Councilor Baker, I'd love for you to, if you'd like, say a few words, and I know you have a resolution as well.
Sure. Thank you. I'm just here to give my thanks to the Ames family. Like the mayor, I ran on these streets myself, and my family's still here. We think that this neighborhood here put the best people in the city out. We always had the best people, I think, but went to St. Margaret's. But to look at a life at 19 years old, to go away and not come back to your family and not be able to start a family and not be able to do the things that we've all been able to do, the ultimate sacrifice that he paid the price. I mean, to do something like this is the least we can do. A lot of the times our jobs are in the middle of trying to solve conflict. And to be able to come here and just honor someone that made our country possible. And the family, obviously, we all know Jim, and Jim's still serving us to this day. So that fabric is in the Ames family, and I appreciate that. I thank the mayor for coming out. I know these things are important. And Giselle, thank you, and everybody that's here to help celebrate this. And I have a resolution that we won't read and bore you. We'll keep it moving. It's just, you know, to honor Mr. Ames and honor your family. So thank you.
And of course, you know, meeting a lot of the family here and having such a close connection with Jim, it was really amazing. I think, Jim, you started going through and doing some research and realizing that this doesn't just touch this family as well, but some other families too. And definitely wanted to invite you to talk about your uncle and some of the things that you've found through this process.
Like people who are really good at public speaking, I need notes, so bear with me, okay? And thank you. I won't be too long, but I just think it's important that we remember everyone. You know, he was a crew member on a B-24 Liberator, which means he was one of, 9 other airmen who, actually 9 perished. And, well, I'll tell you the story here in a moment. But, good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for joining the family, friends, and neighbors of Warren Ames as we celebrate his life and remember his sacrifice for our country, as well as the sacrifice that so many others of his generation made. I want to thank Mayor Walsh, our Veterans Commissioner Sterling, Darrell, our brother, you're unbelievable, thank you, for making today possible. They've seen that Boston does not forget its veterans or their families. I've been given the opportunity to speak about our Uncle Warren today, and I'm drawing on family history and some official documents that I've been able to obtain and research. Warren was born in Boston on this day in 1924. Today he would have been 94 years old. Happy birthday, Uncle Warren. And thank you for making it possible today. In the medical report from his medical records, he was reported to be 19 years old, 6 foot tall, 160 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes, excellent health, vision, and hearing. My mother always spoke about just how smart her big brother was, her big brother Warren was. He attended Boston University for 1 year to study accounting, and he worked as a junior accountant at O'Brien, Fitzgerald and Company in Post Office Square in Boston. At age 18, he registered for the draft at the municipal building up at 500 Columbia Road, like all of us who grew up here did. Then this boy from Dorchester enlisted in the Reserve Corps, where he began basic flight training in Westover, Mass., then on to Selman Field in Louisiana, where he was certified as a navigator. He entered active service July 3rd, 1944. Warren began duty as a navigator assigned to a B-24 Liberator based in the town of Grottaglie in southern Italy. A look at one of his efficiency reports while he was stationed there reveals excellent ratings across the board. I was surprised to see his fitness report was signed by his squadron's commander. At that time, he was Captain Lloyd Benson, Jr. Years later, Lloyd Benson was elected to U.S. Congressman and then a senator from Texas. He served as the U.S. Secretary of Treasury for President Clinton. Major Benson, unfortunately later, when he was then a major, had to sign Warren's missing aircraft report. On March 1st, 1945, Warren was flying his 25th bombing mission. The target was an oil refinery in Moose Beerbaum, Austria. The pilot was Lieutenant Bill Farrington from Philadelphia, PA. He was on his 48th mission. The co-pilot was on his very first mission. He was another Bostonian, Second Lieutenant John P. Knox, who lived at 3 Arbella Road in Dorchester, another boy from the neighborhood. Next to Warren was Bombardier Lieutenant Floyd Bremerman of Laramie, Wyoming. He was on his 50th mission. Sergeant Felix Kozakowski was a flight engineer and top gunner from Sayreville, New Jersey, 48th mission. Sergeant Kenneth Rost, assistant engineer, waist gunner, from Hartley, Iowa, 48th Mission. Sergeant Donald Brown, radio operator, waist gunner, Syracuse, New York, 48th Mission. Sergeant James Bradley, the tail gunner and assistant radio operator from Long Island, New York. He was on his 48th mission. Sergeant Hubert Burnett, ball gunner, armorer, Jackson, Kentucky, 48th Mission. And Sergeant Preston Hill, the nose gunner and assistant armorer, Clover, Pennsylvania, 48th Mission. The 48th Mission were all the original crew from the flight. 50 missions, you got an automatic trip home. The beginning of the war was 25 missions, but they had to extend that. According to records, on the way to the target, the aircraft had one engine problem, which was mechanical, but it was continuing on the bomb run until 7 miles out when it began to experience difficulty. It could not keep up with the group, and it pulled off to start a return to course. They ran into heavy flak concentration. The navigator, Warren, was wounded. The pilot elected to fly towards friendly lines under Russian control to hope to, land there or bail out there. However, they encountered more flak over Hungary, which killed Sergeant Kenneth Rost on the plane and damaged 2 more engines, which required the surviving 9 crewmen to bail out over Hungary. 8 crew members were soon captured by Hungarian SS troops who were loyal to the Nazis. One member, Lieutenant Bremerman, was separated by the winds, and he landed a distance away from the others. All 5 enlisted men were kept in custody of Hungarian forces who beat them and days later took them to a wooded area, shot them dead, and buried them in unmarked graves. Lieutenants Ames, Farrington, and Knox, the officers, were held separately. They were reportedly interrogated and turned over to Nazi SS command in a nearby town where it is believed they suffered a similar fate. After the war, U.S. forces scoured the area searching for the men. They uncovered the story of the murder of the 5 enlisted men. They recovered their remains and brought 6 Hungarian war criminals to trial. 2 were hanged and 4 were given life sentences. No trace of the officers, however, was found, and they were declared 1 year dead 1 year and 1 day after they were missing in action. Lieutenant Floyd Bremerman, who was separated from them, was initially able to evade, but was subsequently captured as well. Fortunately, he was turned over to forces who sent him to a German POW camp until war's end. Floyd visited my grandmother right up the street here, and he went to visit every family member of the survivors. He wasn't ever offered much more than kind words about them, but he did make it his point to do that. Thank you for allowing me the time to speak not only of Warren's life and service, but to tell you the names and the hometowns and the fate of his brothers in arms. It's important. Each left grieving loved ones. We can't forget their lives, their devotion, their ultimate sacrifice, and the sorrow of those that they left behind. It's days like today and monuments like this that help us to remind us. I'm proud and grateful that Boston has so many memorials on every corner of this city. Some are to individuals, some are to specific wars and conflicts. Boston holds sacred its duty to remember our country's fallen. It supports our living veterans in so many ways, connecting them to service, eradicating homelessness among veterans. I'm really proud to live here. Thank you so much. One last final note. In 2008, I had an opportunity to travel to Florence, Italy. The U.S. military cemetery in Florence is over 4,000 of our servicemen buried there. And on the tablets of the missing, Warren's name, as long as with Captain Farrington, are up on the tablets of the missing. And it was very moving to see it. Beautiful Chianti country, 7 miles south of Florence. Highly recommend it if you get there. But when I came down here 2 weeks ago, when Darryl told me this was up, and I just saw it on this street corner, it's more beautiful than seeing it in Tuscany, folks. I swear. So thank you very much, everybody.
So I want to recognize that we do have the State Senior Vice Commander Jeff Najarian here as well with us, and really making that connection between our VFW posts, our local community. I want to thank again the South Boston High School JRTC. So if you're listening to these stories, it's not something that you'll just hear, you'll see it as well on this plaque. There's a QR code, so anyone that does pass by can scan that, go on to an online memoriam, see the research that you've done, all the other families that have been touched by this as well, and really make that connection between community and our local heroes. So with that, I want to thank you once again, and also to the families, know that we are honored by your presence and really humbled by your strength, and thank you for letting us share the story of his life with us. Thank you very much. With that, I'll have
Please stand at attention while the colors are parting.
Present. Arms.
Attention. Present. Arms.
Order. Arms.
Order. Arms.
Right. Face. Forward. Arch.